powersports fans, and welcome back to the TPS Motovlog. Now, I always say we've got a really cool bike that we're going to be going over today, and I know usually it's just, hey, look at this cool new motorcycle, but today I actually mean it, because we are going to be going over one of the coolest motorcycles of all time, and you're not going to believe what it is. It's the 2023 Polaris RZR XP 1000. This is one of the best-selling off-road vehicles, side-by-sides, of the past 5 years. This 110 horsepower, 1000cc monster has huge suspension travel in the front. You've got trailing arm, long travel suspension in the rear. This is a purpose-built machine for off-road fun. Now, the reason we're going to be talking about this bike today is because North Carolina, a couple of years ago, passed a law saying that if you added turn signals, license plate bracket with tag light, horn, and parking brake, you can register your side-by-side for street legal use. So for the first time ever on the TPS Motovlog, and for the first time ever for Sarah Walker, we're going to take a side-by-side out on the street, and I'm pretty excited about it. So, I'm not going to do the usual blah blah blah, because this review, TPS fans, is about fun. So, when you sit inside the cabin of a RZR XP, it's pretty simple stuff. Steering left and right. Oop, adjust my mirror there. It's an automatic transmission, park, reverse, neutral, low, and high. Of course, park, reverse, neutral are pretty obvious. Low range is if you're doing like rock crawling or like stuck in some mud, and then high range would be like what we're going to be doing, where you're rolling a little bit higher speed. Now, typically, this is just going to have the one control here for this trim level, which is the two-wheel drive and the all-wheel drive. But here on the dashboard is where we have installed the horn, the turn signals left and right, and then the hazard lights. So this thing is ready to go on the road. The little parking brake's kind of cool. You push that thing down and click that thing, and it holds the brake in place until you push the button again. A little zip tie there in the seat. It's got adjustable driver's seat, slide forward and backward. The steering column is tilt, so you can adjust it. Up here on the dashboard, we'll go ahead and wake it up. Super easy to read on the dashboard. You've got your speedometer on this side and tachometer on this side, and then of course you've got your odometer. You can cycle through, look at the trips, your volts, the engine hours. It actually counts down until the next service in hours, which is kind of cool. Helps you keep track of it there. Engine temperature, which is exterior temperature because it hasn't been running yet, 75 degrees F. And then back to your odometer. RPMs, temperature, so you can kind of customize that dashboard how you want it to look. I'm going to go ahead and have it tell me digital speed. That'll be a little easier to read. You've got some cubbies here, you've got a little cubby there, you've got a glove box there. If you are needing to charge your cell phone or something, there's a little 12-volt outlet. Another little stash pocket right there. And I've already taken the drain holes out because I tried to clean it up a little bit for the purposes of this video. And I've actually personally had the opportunity to drive one of these things in an off-road setting. I've gone to Hatfield-McCoy trails up in West Virginia on one of these RZR XP 1000s. And I gotta tell you, I did like 90 to 100 miles a day every day for 4 days in a row, and the RZR XP never let me down. These things are absolutely there goes one right there. That's the Turbo R. These things are probably one of the best side-by-sides that you can get for off-road use. They can do it all, go anywhere, and they're a ton of fun to drive. So without further ado, let's drive this thing out there on the road. All right, foot on the brake, fire it up. So we're going to pop it back into low gear just for a quick little circle around the parking lot, make sure I like where the seat's at, where the pedals are at. I actually am going to lower that down a little bit. So in low gear, I'm already running 4,000 RPM. In low gear, that's what you're going to want to use if you're, like I said, doing some rock crawling, doing some mudding, because it's going to rev the engine much higher, much sooner, which is going to give you more torque in any given speed. It uses CVT transmission, so you've kind of always got torque no matter if you're at a dead stop. We'll let this guy go on by. So if you're at a dead stop, instant torque, and if I'm already going, 15 miles an hour, that torque continues. And we'll turn on our turn signal. Oh look, and it comes up here on the dashboard, so it's indicating that I'm making my right-hand turn. We'll go ahead and put this thing in high gear. Oh, this is so cool. Now the thing about these turn signal kits is they're not auto-canceling, so if you are going to get one of these side-by-sides, get a street legal, just make sure that you are not the nerd driving around with your turn signals on all the time. Oh, this is so much fun. So the cool thing about street legal side-by-sides is they are a relatively new thing. So already I've gotten a thumbs up from that guy, somebody else is waving over here, and it's a cool experience. I get to drive these things all the time at work, in the parking lot, pulling them in, pulling them out. Like I said, I've taken one of these up to West Virginia to the Hatfield McCoy trails. I've driven them at Busco Beach. But there is something just awesome about driving this thing on the road. It's so new that people haven't seen it yet, and I can't stop cheesing because I'm driving a side-by-side on the street. Look at this. Oh man, it's so cool. So this 110 horsepower motor is actually a lot for the size of this machine. I mean, you're talking about something that weighs less than even the smallest sports cars. So my personal vehicle is a Mazda Miata. It makes 168-ish horsepower, and it weighs 2,400 pounds. This is 110 horsepower, but it weighs half of what the Miata weighs. So pretty zesty when you get on the gas. Oh, and with no sound dampening like you'd find in a car or a Jeep or anything else that you normally drive on the street. Oh, it makes all those good dune buggy sounds. Yeah, this is turn signals, baby! Now I am going to take it easy on the turns because this, much like any kind of off-road vehicle, is not really rated for high-speed street cornering. So if you are going to street legalize your side-by-side, you're definitely going to want to kind of take it easy when you're going through traffic, especially until you you probably want to upgrade the wheels and tires to something that's a little more streetable. So I'm just going to be taking it, nice, easy, cruising speed. And if you've ever had a convertible, a Jeep Wrangler or anything, that's kind of a lot what this feels like. You're open, you're exposed. I can see I don't know if y'all can see that, but I can see the wheel turning down there. And it's just absolutely fun. Oh, TPS fans, I gotta tell you, I've ridden some wild motorcycles in my day. 200 horsepower race bikes. I've ridden Kawasaki's supercharged H2. I mean, you name it. And I know I don't want to make it sound like I'm jaded, because I'm not. I love every kind of motorcycle there is. I love every kind of side-by-side. Let me make an easier statement. If it has wheels and a motor and it goes, I'm interested. It's fun to drive stuff. It's fun to drive somebody else's stuff. It's fun to drive your own stuff. It's fun. It's just fun to drive stuff. Driving stuff is fun. And I can already see, we passed that construction zone back there, and the construction dudes were half of them, 3/4 of them look up. They're like, whoa, what is that thing? And I'm like, yeah, what is that thing? That's a cool thing. Yes, I got the wave from the motorcycle. Awesome. And the cool thing about the side-by-side is, you know, you've got a place to put your water bottle. You can listen to your music. You can have a friend with you, and y'all can talk and converse. It's not like your traditional, you know, like ATV or dirt bike experience, because you can just sit comfortably, and it doesn't affect the performance of the machine. In fact, with the much wider stance, these tend to be a little more stable than like a smaller ATV. So they tend to be a little more stable. Now what's wild is when you're in a trail setting and, you know, you're going like maybe 25, 35, 45 if you're daring on an off-road setting. Out here on the road, you can really feel how much this vehicle was designed for off-road use. Because when I hit the gas, that huge suspension in the back starts squatting down, and the front starts to feel like it's lifting up off the ground. And even just because of engine braking, and I'll give you an example, when I let off the gas, or the front kind of nosedives, not in like a scary or terrifying way or anything, but it's definitely noticeable how much suspension travel and flex this thing actually has. And when you go around corners, it feels a little wandery. But for the most part, it's actually handling street driving really well. You know, with the street legal thing being legal the past, I think it's a year and a half, or maybe coming up on 2 years at this point. You know, I've seen it. I've been cruising around downtown Raleigh and seen side-by-sides out there. I've been obviously working at Team Power Sports. People will drive them to the dealership. And I always knew it was going to be cool. I knew it was going to be cool. I was not expecting how cool this was going to feel. And let's not mince words, TPS fans. A lot of us, sure, I like motorcycles. Motorcycles are fun, but motorcycles are cool. If you like side-by-sides, side-by-sides are fun. You can go and do off-road stuff, but they're also cool. And anybody who tells you that, oh, you know, I don't think it's cool, no, do you really not think it's cool? Or is it cool and you just don't, you know, am I a dork? Probably. Go ahead and leave it in the comments. Dork. But I don't care, because this is fun and it's exciting, and good golly, I had no idea it was going to bring me this many smiles. What's the fuel economy, you ask? Doesn't matter. Because these things yeah, they don't get measured in miles per gallon. They get measured in smiles per gallon. Dork. So that is going to conclude the riding portion of the TPS Motovlog in this 2023 Polaris RZR XP 1000 street legalized right here at Team Power Sports in Garner, with the turn signals, the parking brake, the horn, and the license plate bracket with license plate light. It's a ton of fun. It's a ton of fun on-road. It's a ton of fun off-road. And if you want to see one in person or would like to get your side-by-side street legalized, come see us here at Team Power Sports in Garner, 222 US 70 East. You find us on the web at www.team-powersportsgarner.com. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. You know how to find us. That's it for the TPS Motovlog. TPS fan Sarah Walker signing out. Hope you have a great day.